Is this good?
Mic check, mic check.
Can't they hear you right now? It's 5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock. It's Thursday. Here we are.
And today we have two special guests with us. We have Chris Reddy, our friend.
Chris is acting as Siobhan today, so he's screening your comments. If you want to communicate with us, write it in there. Chris will read it. He's also taking your photos. We'll tell you in just a second how to submit your photos to us. Thanks for joining us from Rochester, Chris. And who else is with us today?
Let me read here. Matt Granger. It's Matt.
It's Granger.
It's Granger. Matt
Actually,
Granger, our friend from down under, was kind enough to join us. He's going to be looking at your travel pictures with us, giving some tips.
If you don't know Matt Granger, he's a photographer and
YouTuber.
photography educator and a YouTuber too. He has a really popular YouTube channel.
He's also traveled
it out.
all over the world.
He's been everywhere.
Not everywhere, but he's been a lot of places. Probably at least 6.
Are there more than 6 places? There's one other person we should introduce, Justin, who's working furiously to keep everything running, despite the fact that today we've changed half the components working. We have 2 guests coming in.
Did you see that?
It's incredibly
that product
complex what we do
placement
here.
as well. That was pretty unbelievable. And
Justin's getting kickbacks from Heineken.
as per usual, this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the easiest way to create a beautiful website, blog, or online store for you and your ideas. Squarespace features an elegant interface, beautiful templates, and incredible 24/7 customer support. So try Squarespace at squarespace.com/Tony and use the offer code PORTFOLIO to get 10% off.
Yep.
Did you guys love that? Squarespace. All right, let's jump in.
Yeah, we'll take a look at a couple of Squarespace portfolios today. If you want to send in your portfolio for review, go to sdp.io/link. Today we're looking at your pictures, your travel photos today. If you want us to look at your picture during the live show, go to sdp.io/submit and give them the password Vegemite in all lowercase. Vegemite in honor of our friend Matt, who made us eat Vegemite, which is we had Vegemite later and we used it appropriately.
Yeah, but he did it in a rude kind of way, if you ask me.
Wait, so it was me that you found objectionable, not the Vegemite.
No, you gave it to us straight. And that's...
You didn't provide crackers.
No.
We've had this conversation.
Wait, do most of your guests just have crackers in Australia? I think we didn't have any warning about the cracker thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of a given. You're having a guest, you fill the cupboard with crackers. Yeah.
That must be an Aussie thing.
I guess so. So we'll take a look at your travel photos. Matt will chime in. Next week, for those of you who prefer and take a new photo every week, we're looking at smartphone photos. And so this can be pretty much anything. But I want to take in with your smartphone. And this is an exciting challenge for me because first, the smartphone is the camera you always have with you. So it pays to be prepared and to know how to get good results out of it. You also have a fixed lens, so it's probably different from your DSLR. You have things like a more limited dynamic range, more limited resolution, but you can pull it out and put it anywhere. It's great for things like street photography.
He's still talking about your smartphone.
And this is my most popular smartphone picture from Instagram. That's why I made it the background. Matt, do you use your smartphone for stuff, or are you just a guy who always has his camera with him?
No, definitely I use it. If you took out the days where you're doing a huge day of shooting and you take a couple of thousand shots on a day-to-day basis, I probably take more with my smartphone because, my cat's doing something stupid, or even yesterday I was looking through a sensor scope at my sensor and I say, well, why get out my whole kit? The iPhone will do fine. It's just for Instagram. So yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that. A modern iPhone or Android phone probably has the same image quality as a DSLR from 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I think the image quality is great. I wish they could have a zoom on it. That's my biggest problem is it's just a fixed focal length. That's all you can do with it is that one focal length. But for that wide angle shots, if that's what I need, it's fantastic and it's with you and it's just instantly connected. And recency is so important with photography. Jess, how do you feel about smartphone photography?
I love it, and I love this challenge because we always talk about how gear is not the most important thing. So this is going to force people to think about composition and content and originality, colors,
Yep.
things like that.
Ansel Adams started with a Brownie camera, and a lot of what would become famous photographers started with a Brownie.
What a
All
hack.
future famous photographers are going to be starting with their smartphones. So the people out there shooting with smartphones now, some of them are going to end up being amazing photographers, and that's the gear that they're using. If you want to communicate with us, another way is to go to Twitter or Instagram and use hashtag TCLive. If you use Twitter, Justin can put your comments on the screen. If you use Instagram, other people watching who like the show can see your pictures and follow you. So
You should
put up your
tag me.
pictures with hashtag TCLive, and you'll get some likes probably. Let's take a look at a few travel pictures from Matt. Matt Granger. Matt, you do workshops, right?
Yes.
So you go to awesome places and you help photographers get awesome pictures of the place, right? You kind of act as a tour guide and photography master.
Yeah, well, so I do workshops just face to face in studios, that kind of thing, and then my partner in America, we run photo tours. So it's kind of half and half, half just the normal great tour, and the kind of places photographers want to go are often where most people would want to go anyway, just maybe at a slightly different time of day. So yeah, the kind of support we give varies from giving specific technical advice and of course packing info and all of that kind of thing. And some people just want help to get there and prep, on the way with some shooting advice, and others want hands-on advice at the actual location. But yeah, it's pretty great. Go somewhere amazing, shoot all day, and then in the evening we can do image review and chat about it all with a bunch of people who are just as into it as we are.
I want to go.
I genuinely want to go. And in fact,
but Matt probably double charge us.
Yeah. Some of my favorite experiences have been times when I was out with other photographers shooting, and to review the pictures later, it's almost like a competition. And it's not one that I often win. If there's 10 people there, there's always a couple of people who got a better shot than me, but that's a learning experience because I can look at their pictures and think, what did they see that I missed? And I just find that one of the best experiences to work around other photographers. And so the link I was given was to Peru. You can go to sdp.io/Matt Peru, and that will take you over there. You have other workshops coming up. Oh, look at all these people having fun, big cameras.
So that was our Peru last year. Yeah, we Peru's the one where we're promoting at the moment. That's for July this year, where we've still got the early bird up until the end of March. But it's a great position now. All the people in that photo, they're genuinely now friends. So the majority of them have rebooked on additional tours. About half of them are coming to Bhutan with me later this year. And our tours now half sell out just from previous guests and then fill up with new guests. So it's great. So at the moment we do with my buddy in America, we do Peru, Namibia, Mongolia. Mm-hmm. And I'm adding in Bhutan, Hong Kong, and Japan at the moment.
Wow.
Do you ever have somebody who wants to sign up for a second trip and the person wasn't cool? So you're like, no, we'd rather, we can't take your money.
To be honest, and without sounding like a wanker about it, but most of the people who come follow the channel, so they kind of know who I am. So they're not going to come if they're terribly uptight or, aren't a little bit easygoing and can take a joke. There hasn't been anyone who's been a pain, especially in a group dynamic with 12 people. They'll always buddy up with someone who, they get along with well. And no, we haven't at all. I've had that for other clients, to be honest, and for some workshops. I've had people that I wouldn't really want to have back but for the tours, no, we never have.
Yeah, my experience with meeting people in person is that they're always nice, because I think as a YouTuber, you talk to so many people and you see so many comments from people who are just complete jerks that you imagine that if 1 out of 10 people on the internet are jerks, you think 1 out of 10 people in person are going to be jerks. But all those people who are jerks, they won't show up.
They're scared.
Or they won't say hi. Yeah. So people in general in person are really nice.
These are great. Look at that. It's
beautiful. Another one of your Machu Picchu pictures. And we went there just recently. And if there was one place I would send photographers, it would be Machu Picchu. Like, I got a portfolio picture out of it, which is, it's hard. Most trips we take don't end up with a portfolio pic, but it's hard to not get a portfolio pic there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful picture of the skyline, kind of. Another group photo there, people in...
No, this one that they practice in, it's about 12 or 13,000 feet in the Andes. And to get there, we actually took little horses up for about 2 hours from the base camp to get there. Meanwhile, all these, 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old locals are just on foot laughing at us for being such wimps.
Yeah.
And you get to the top, and seriously, you're in this crater where you can see glaciers on the mountains and stuff. And it's just a week of 24/7, literally singing and dancing and banging drums. And it's just completely nonstop and hectic. But we go for about 8 hours and we're totally smashed. So we don't actually camp up there.
Good endorsement. It does sound like a good time.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, it is. I mean, we're smashed as in everyone's snoring by the time they get back to the base camp. But yeah, an amazing day. And that day we got caught in a snowstorm and everything. And once you're there, it's just an amazing experience. It may sound a bit of an ordeal to get there, but it's not really.
Smashed to Americans means like
Very
knockered. Yeah, right. I'm trying to think of an Australian term for drunk.
No, they all involve swearing. Smashed is in exhausted. Everyone was exhausted.
Okay.
This one's beautiful. This is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, this backlighting here is really gorgeous. Let's see if people have submitted any photos for us to review. Look, Chris Rady's been hard at work approving your photos. Thank you, Chris. We probably should have framed this a little bit, but for us, travel photos, they can either be something that distinctly says travel, like maybe a picture of a suitcase or a map or something, or pictures that kind of tell us a little bit about the location. So, your general street photography, if it didn't speak to what the location was, might not apply.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's pretty open.
This reminds me of like Germany or something. Oh,
Yeah.
It says Polish cottage.
Very nice. My eye doesn't rest anywhere though. It could use a focal point. What do you think, Matt? Are you seeing the feed okay?
I'm looking at myself in the Andes still, unfortunately.
Oh, not by choice. I thought you were just.
Oh no, I have it framed beside me as well, but no, it's frozen.
Oh no.
But the cottage sounds lovely.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see if Justin can get the your video feed working again.
Well, I'll go back to that one real quick. I did like it. I definitely had a feel for where it was, just based on the architecture and the gardens and something about the landscape. So I do think it told a bit of a story about. I mean, maybe if you lived in Poland, it wouldn't be so exotic, but it definitely seemed like a different location to me.
Yeah, I just wish it had like one more thing. It's a kind of focal point. And this is a train, and I can imagine that it's. Oh, it says Nicaragua. I was going to say it's somewhere, and maybe in like the Old West, because that's what I think of when I think of these kind of coal-powered trains.
Yeah.
But it's in Nicaragua, and it doesn't say anything about Nicaragua to me.
Yeah,
so,
but I do think travel when I think train.
Yeah.
There's Spanish on it.
There's a lot of distractions in this photo, and I think when you have this many distractions, my fallback is to find a detail and zoom in tight on it. So it could be the mechanics of the wheel here, zooming in tight on something like that, or maybe these kind of interesting rivets or some aspect, because you got like a sign here and this like street lamp here, which is definitely not of it.
Oh, the Torii gates.
Yeah. Obviously, I would guess Japan at least. We've seen similar Torii gates.
Fushimi and Nari Shrine. So I think this is the one in Kyoto.
Yeah, and I'll give that one a pick. It is beautiful. They found pretty perfect symmetry here. I think if this were an ideal shot, you'd have somebody walking up in traditional garb with like a parasol over their shoulder.
I still like it like this though, because it's more about the architecture.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very geometric photo. That's awesome. I would definitely like to hold what looks like a lion cub. That's fantastic.
That is so cute. They just got me on cuteness alone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's either travel or like a Siegfried and Roy show or something. How is Matt able to see the pictures yet, or should we just?
It looks like he's trying to connect up, so we'll just keep going, and Justin will get Matt going. I love this graveyard picture. At Manzamara internment camp. Okay, so I was confused here because I saw the Japanese writing and what looks like the Rocky Mountains and then the flag, but it's an internment camp because Americans, we did some terrible things in World War II, which included... I'm going to
give this 5 stars and a pick because the composition is beautiful. It tells a story. The colors are gorgeous. I really like the shot a lot.
Yeah, it is beautiful. We have just infinite depth of field here. And you're right, it has the story there with the gravestone and the flag. So great job at storytelling. It works perfectly.
Wow.
This is
very
beautiful too.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about the fringing along the mountain line here, but yeah, sdp.io/top tip has some tips about contrast. I guess it's just natural.
Yeah, no, I think
We're so used to seeing.
Yeah, I don't think it's like
this is like a classic Scottish weather scene with the like deep clouds.
I like it a lot. I'm gonna give that a pick.
Oh, we'll go back. Okay, you got a pick. Good work.
Can you see yet, Matthew?
No, he's working on it.
I feel sorry for him.
This is St. Petersburg, and it doesn't tell me a lot about the location.
Well, I think of tourists because of the people.
Yeah, it seems like a crowded location, and I don't know what it's a picture of. Like, I don't know if these things are, if it's the crest that's particularly important. I think we'd zoom in tight on it.
You can, are those little like tourist headphones for an audio tour or something? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, the story it tells to me is a crowded tourist location.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell me anything about the location, but it is a great shot. And I know we didn't outline the requirements for the picture ahead of time, but I'll give it a pick because it is really pretty.
I think more wildlife than travel for this one.
Yeah, and I will give you a tip. If it were possible to lower yourself down a little bit and get the eagle kind of positioned up here, that would have made it a more powerful composition.
Yeah,
It would have been more depth.
Up on a boat or something.
But yeah, I'm going to guess that they were on the side of a hill or something, because to be slightly above a bald eagle perched means you're probably pretty high up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Chelsea and Tony.
Yeah, we got to get
This is us.
the levels kind of sorted out though, right?
Let's bring up these shadows a bit just so I can see his eye.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that we have a white point in there. It's a very cool shot. A little bit of post will help this a lot. I'm going to level that horizon because we have a flat horizon in there, so we want to make sure it's right. And just looking at the before and after, it's a pretty big improvement.
I like that shot a lot. It's very creepy. What is that thing? Is that an iguana?
I guess so, but it looks extra badass, right? I like that they have the claw right there in the foreground, and they didn't trim the edges off of it, like they didn't crop it out of the frame.
New Zealand.
So the camera focused on the truck here in the foreground, and that's immediately where my eye went, because it's the sharpest part of the picture. But clearly the focal point should have been the skyline. And if the story you're trying to tell is here's a place that's crowded with tourists, all looking at the skyline, then you succeeded. But I think as far as a travel photo goes, you were probably trying to show the actual skyline. Just go to where those people are over there.
Yeah.
So you can get that truck out of the frame. Matt, can you see stuff yet? I think Matt can see stuff, but now we can't hear Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Justin, if you just show the screen, Matt should be able to get a look at the picture and give us some feedback. You have thoughts?
What?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, here's Matt.
So this is a picture of Egypt, and it's tightly cropped, and it kind of, to me, does a good job of conveying how densely packed everything is. So I'm going to give that one a pick.
I'm going to give that 5 stars. I love this picture.
Yeah.
It looks kind of chaotic and crowded, and the fact that they cropped it so that you can't see any relief, it gives you a feeling, right?
It feels like it goes on forever.
Yeah.
And as we zoom in, the detail is there. Like, it's an extremely sharp picture. Yeah.
There's a lot of satellite dishes.
You know what? I actually really enjoy zooming in. It actually tells me about the place, and I get a sense for how people are living there. The watermark's a little over the top, but wow, all the satellite dishes.
I gave it a pick for the satellite dishes. The orange show.
Houston, Texas. Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. I do not know. It's a cool spot, though. It almost looks like Spanish.
It reminds me of a roadside like show or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely got a travel-y vibe from that. I think you know what I'm gonna do to this.
Yeah, we gotta
You okay, Justin?
boost the levels here.
Justin, things get stressful when we start adding new things to the
So
show.
much going on with the Skype here, but I think Matt should be good now.
Oh, good. So I'm just adjusting the. You know what? I'll try using this as auto. Sometimes that works better. Still, like, needs to be a little bit warmer, right? Okay. With a little bit of editing, I think this is just a really nice picture, don't you think?
Yeah, this is beautiful. Let's press Y.
Oh, we both pressed Y because I'll stop. Go ahead. Yeah.
Stop fighting me, Tone. Look at that. I love this picture. It's very nice.
Matt, have you been to Venice?
No, I haven't been to that part of the world at all, unfortunately. That's not on my list of 6.
Oh,
Really?
you've literally never been to Italy?
Italy or Spain. Nope.
That's funny because for Americans, Italy is like maybe the top tourist destination. That's where people go in Europe.
He's not American.
And Venice in particular. Yeah, I just think it's funny
I
that
could
different
just
countries
ask
have different
Matt
tourist
because he's
destinations.
here, but I'm going to speak for him and say that he likes to go off the beaten path.
Yeah. Well,
He's
I've not been
blanking.
to
That
Venice
means
either.
yes.
And it's mostly because everybody just says it's kind of touristy and it's not really my vibe, but it is such a
I would want to
beautiful
go.
place.
I would want to go anyway. It's sinking. How much time do we have?
Feel my vibe.
I want to go.
What do you think of this picture, Matt?
Putting back. Oh, there we go. It's lovely. It's a bit tight, isn't it? But having not been to, I think for a lot of these shots, it helps if you've been there to be able to give any constructive feedback. I don't know how tight it all is. It feels quite cramped here. Like that building on the right, the white one, may be quite interesting. Trying to include that, you might get the boat in the front.
Yeah, you're
I
absolutely
saw-
right. It feels too tight.
I saw your edit for. I think the water and sky definitely need to come up. I might leave the buildings kind of halfway. Oops, sorry, I was leaning in. Halfway between the exposure they had and you had, but definitely bringing up that green water to bring up the reflections looks great.
Good feedback. That's why we talk.
And the reason I haven't been, it's not just that I'm not American. Italy and Spain are on my wife's to-do list, and I'm not allowed to visit until we go together. And obviously I travel for work. She travels in her work holidays, so they're still on the to-do list.
Can I come?
Yes.
Talk to your wife.
You always say that, and then I say, okay, come to Bhutan in 3 weeks, and then you can't come, all these commitments. And
I know. Well, there's things.
Yeah, not everybody can just toss
Pick
off
up and
to
go.
Bhutan
Not
whenever you want.
everybody's a Granger.
You guys can, though.
Not
No,
quite.
we can't. We can't. All right, let's see.
Fine.
Fine. I wanted to go to Bhutan.
Yeah, we're still a little bitter about it, but I do definitely want to go to
angry.
Bhutan. Your pictures from there turn out fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
It's
This
Walt
is
Disney
so
World.
cute.
Yeah, this is a great shot of the teacups. I don't know how they managed to get a shot while spinning around like that.
I think the exposure was fine, but just for my taste, because it's so cheery, I'm just going to brighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it helps to
And I
support
just
the mood.
increase the vibrance just a tad, just because it's so like bubblegum and Disney. Matt, do you like this picture?
I do. That definitely ended in vomit, though, didn't it? Look at that.
Happy vomit.
Yeah. No, yeah, I really like it. It's cute. It's you get the whole feel of being there. I guess for one like this, I don't know how long a ride lasts, but after lining up 2 hours to get on a ride, you probably try, go to shutter priority and try a bunch of different shutter speeds. No
Yeah.
idea what this is. Maybe a tenth of a second.
It's at an
And
80th.
Oh, wow. So they move quite fast then. So do a couple of different variations. So the kid can hold still for, a 20th, and then you get crazy blur in the background, or you can do a, kind of shutter speed bracket.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Just try different shutter speeds.
I'm going to give this one a pick because I think it looks like stock.
Yeah, it is great. Matt, have you been to Walt Disney World or anything like that?
We went to the one, is it in Anaheim, when I was like 5?
I think that's Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's not my thing. We've
It was
been
mine when I was
because we have a
5.
kid, but this picture's pretty gorgeous. I like it a lot. Just the lines of it.
So stripy. I'm really into that.
Yeah.
You know who I want to talk to? My friend Chris Reddy.
You want to see if Chris has any
he may have
questions
some
or
good
comments? Yeah, we are like half an hour into the show already. I can't believe
It's just
it.
flying by.
We've got questions. You betcha.
What's up?
Dan Marchetti wants to know, what are your this is a deep one. What are your thoughts on David Slater's monkey selfie copyright problems with Wikimedia Foundation and PETA?
Oh.
Go.
I think that the photographer should get the credit for the picture because he went there and he brought the gear and he probably urged this scenario to happen for this reason. And of course, a monkey has no awareness what taking a picture is.
I'm not sure everybody knows the story, but a monkey, this guy dropped his camera or something, and this, I don't know what, a baboon, or I don't know what that is, macaw. A monkey took a picture of himself, and people are arguing that he doesn't own the copyrights to the photo because the monkey took it. I think he should be able to have the copyright to it. It's a great picture. Why not? Who cares? That's so funny. What do you think, Chris?
Well,
or you're on the monkey copyright
that's one of those.
thing?
Go ahead and flip a coin. We'll see where it lands.
You know what also scares me is what's the old saying about a monkey with a typewriter and an infinite amount of time?
Yeah, really?
Yeah, like
pretty soon they're going to put me out of business with the books.
Ultimate selfie.
I know the monkeys are taking our jobs. That's what I worry about.
It's not the robots; it's the monkeys. They're coming up.
I've been warned about this.
What else you have for us, Chris?
Okay, Matt, the question for you. You posted some issues with Sony service. Have you enrolled in their pro support program, and have you had any experience with it as of yet?
No, pro support isn't available in Australia yet, and I won't qualify anyway. It's like a lot of the pro support programs, you need a minimum number of body and their own lenses, and then pay on top for it. And I don't own that many body and lenses from Sony, so I won't qualify anyway.
Okay.
You know, we haven't had to use Sony's support yet.
Yeah, we did totally wreck a camera, but we just kept using it. That A7, that AS that dropped.
I don't remember that.
With Sandy, remember?
Yeah, Sandy knocked the
that's
tripod
right.
over and
we
it just
didn't drop
wrecked it.
Sandy ran into it.
Yeah, my dog wrecked it, but we were just like, yeah, it still works good enough. Like the viewfinder doesn't work at all, but we should probably send it in.
Sounds like it's better than sending it into Sony based on Matt's experience.
Yeah, but I will say Matt's had better experience than us. I've had terrible experience with Canon and Nikon, but we haven't bothered to sign up for any of the pro services, even though we qualify because we have lots of bodies. Matt knows this off the top of his head. Who do you have to pay for? Canon or Nikon? One of them's free.
It seems to vary by country, but I haven't heard of Nikon charging, but
Nikon.
Canon in some countries do, others countries don't. It is a Nick sound. It's the it comes from Nippon.
This comes up
camera.
all the time.
Nikon.
Mostly because of the way you see it and because we have the same fan base. But Nikon USA, they say Nikon. And I feel like everybody gets to decide how their own name is pronounced. But I like saying Nikon better. Maybe I'll just switch because I like it better.
I like saying ISO, so that's an Australian thing now.
Well,
you shut your mouth. This show is done.
Does Chris have anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple more. Anybody want a gear question?
Sure.
Quick one, Tony. My 70D was stolen. Do you recommend the 5D Mark II or your older video about the 70D?
Well, first you should go to I think they have a database where you can try to find your camera. You can recover the information with your serial number and your metadata, and then you can plug it into a site and they'll look to see if any more pictures have been posted from that camera. You may be able to track your camera down.
That's cool. But like a lot of gear questions, I don't have nearly enough information. If he's a general family shooter, the 70D is kind of the ultimate camera. It's got a touchscreen and articulating screen. If he's doing landscapes or something, 5D Mark II just produced better image quality. It gives him full access to all the full frame lenses. So they're just good at different things. It's not like a clear better than the other.
If you go to our website, northrop.photo, we have a lot of gear information there that will be more specific. You can...
That's a good idea. Check the reviews there, and I'll tell you specifically what scenarios you should use. Let's take a look at a Squarespace hosted portfolio. This is Jim Bishop's portfolio. And
or as Matt would say, Bishop.
Beautiful picture on the front here. I guess I have to, it wasn't immediately clear to me what I had to do.
Look at the contempt on his face.
The elk there?
No, Matt Granger.
What's with the
Granger.
contempt, Matt?
Granger.
No, sorry, I slipped into a slight coma. I'm back.
He's up.
Good.
You match really nicely today.
So one usability thing here, you have the photos page with only one sub item. And if you have just one item, you should just make photos click through to your gallery. Beautiful picture of the stars here. I'm going to go ahead and go full screen. That's absolutely gorgeous, right?
I would give it a pick if that were a thing.
Yeah, that's really striking. And this photo too, just fantastic. I would love to see a herd of elk moving through the snow. I've never seen anything like that. I'm totally jealous. This picture is over HDR'd a little bit. We actually need more contrast in there. Like, just dial back the HDR. Make sure you have white and black points. sp.io/top tip. Yeah, I think a graduated filter would give you a more natural look. And Matt, feel free to jump in.
If you can.
Yeah. Great shot of a bald eagle. Oh my goodness. This is fantastic.
You're jealous again.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list along with a kingfisher. Fantastic shot. Got the great blue heron.
These are excellent shots.
Yeah, I think they're all really nice.
This is beautiful. Oh, Matt gave it a nod and
That's how we pick in Australia. He gets a nod.
you just go, mm-hmm.
Here we have Godrey's. Just a beautiful landscape, right?
It is.
Yeah. I might even actually restore a little more contrast to the foreground. The sky, it looks just painterly. What do you think, Matt? Is this picture, is it spot on or is it overdone?
It's hard to tell from here, but yeah, it does. I don't know, when you do HDR on the shot like this, I don't know if it needs it. The blues tend to get muddy, and then the finger rays, you get it always kind of looks a bit grainy. Just the rays of light coming through the atmosphere will give you a nice contrast anyway. It always feels like you can tell when someone's tried to add contrast or something to that.
Yeah.
But overall, the shots in this are amazing. And I know Jim Bishop's name from my channel as well. I had no idea he was creating work this great.
Yeah.
He'll surprise you like that.
I also feel bad because as photographers, we're very sensitive to what this HDR thing is.
Yeah.
And most people, like, I used to have HDR photos in my portfolio, and most people, that would be their favorite photo. But every photographer who looked at it would be their least favorite photo. Because photographers hate HDR, but most of us aren't trying to appeal to other photographers. We're trying to appeal to civilians. Yeah, so it's tough because Matt and I and you, we all have mostly photographers looking at our portfolio, so we have to keep that in mind. You have to be like a photographer's photographer.
I'm not against HDR. Oh my gosh.
This is adorable and scrappy. What is that? Like a coyote puppy or?
Sure.
He's really cute. Great shot too. Nice long exposure. Beautiful. Again, I feel like even a little more contrast in there. Oh.
And now if
obviously the coyote owns copyright.
I was just going to make a joke about that. Yeah.
Too slow.
Well, I can't keep up with you, Granger. You're a day ahead of me.
Good. Not too many photos. We managed to get through all of them without getting irritated. Jim, I wish a picture of yourself. I kind of wish we could see your face, but it is a beautiful picture.
Any man that makes his dog more prominent in the picture gets my thumb up. It's good.
Everybody follow Jim Bishop at On the Fly.
It's okay. Don't be jealous.
Lucky man.
Here's what Jim had to say about using Squarespace. Squarespace hosts his portfolio. He just finished the webpage the other day. He's still working on it. Squarespace is very nice to work with. Thanks, Jim. If you want your pictures to look awesome like Jim's, you should try using Squarespace too. Go to squarespace.com/Tony.
I'm having a seizure.
To get your Squarespace portfolio on a 14-day free trial. And if you decide that you like it, you can get 10% off by using the coupon code portfolio. That just lets them know that they heard about it from us. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this chaos and making this our job.
Did you just say you'd give me CPR if I was having a seizure? Is that what you're supposed to do?
Well,
no.
Is it that thing where if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail?
I only have a knife, So
Oh, so Australian.
That's not a knife.
Yeah, would you just... This is a knife? That was not a knife, Matt. Technically, in Australia, not a knife.
What's the slide with Instagram equals money?
It's just a story about
the Kyle Wolf story.
Matt Granger's favorite person, Kyle Wolf. Kyle Wolf has an Instagram like a lot of people do. And he put this picture on his Instagram along with other things. And somebody approached it and now they're selling it. So
he got a job.
He got work. He became a professional photographer through Instagram. And that's one of the questions people ask about Instagram is like, I'm putting all this time into it. Like, where does it pay off?
Where does it pay
off? But you can get discovered. And also you can get like JCPenney to pay you to wear a fancy dress. It's probably not going to work out for Kyle, but he did manage to sell some pro photos. So I just thought it was an awesome story and a great picture. Good work, Kyle. A little bit of news. Irix, which seems to be a new lens company, they made a 15... Irix?
He would say Irix.
Matt, do you know about this lens? Could you tell us about it?
It's really 15 mil.
Wow.
Got 2 eyes in the name.
It's black.
I don't know if it's Asian or European. All I know about is they made 2 versions, a lightweight one and a normal one, and they weren't too different in weight.
It has a neutrino coating as well, which is nice.
I thought they were like a particle beam or something, isn't it? A neutrino.
Yes. We actually have a write-up on this on our blog, Tony.
At northup.photo. I mentioned it. We don't even know the price yet, so we don't have a link.
It's $500.
But I think it's interesting because do you do any astrophotography, Matt?
Once, ever.
Okay, so not really.
So you're a pro.
But what you want is kind of a super wide angle lens for a lot of stuff. And then you want it to be as fast as possible. And the fastest lens I have is like f2.8. So the difference between f2.8 and f2.4 for astrophotography, kind of a big deal. You'll get like noticeably cleaner images. So I'm kind of excited about it for that. It seems like it's kind of ideal for that sort of work. Coming soon. And I was going to send people to northup.photo because we have a new blog post there all about macro photography. Check it out. It's just free stuff.
Can we get a Matt Granger plug in here?
Yeah. Matt Granger. What about Matt Granger?
He's got a book.
Okay.
And I don't know where to get it. So
is it mattgranger.com maybe?
He has a t-shirt. It says "Get Your Gear Out." It's probably a sexual thing.
It mostly is. That one right there, Public Bodies. That's my latest book. Public and private are both there. So I don't think there's much Rudy nudies here that'll offend your audience. Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah. Well, it is nude. It's tasteful. It's artful nude photography. It's really beautiful. You've sent me a lot of pictures.
I think it's mostly Matt nude though.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to plug it. But Matt, one skill that I really admire about Matt and why I wanted to have him on our podcast soon is that he has this incredible ability to find models, which is something I'd like to learn about from him.
Yeah.
But he also finds people that are just willing to go out in a public place, strip down quickly, and he takes pictures of nude people in public places, like public bodies. That's the point, I believe. So I'll be talking to him about that on our podcast. I saw you had a picture of a girl completely naked in the back of a cab. And
in New York City.
Yeah, I'll definitely want to know the story about that.
Could you tell us a story about that?
Yeah, sure. That was where's she from? I think she's from Alabama, and she flew to New York she took a bus or something to New York to shoot together. She
took a bus from Alabama to New York for you? It
was like a 24-hour journey or something.
Why are you surprised?
Well, that's a huge commitment. Have you been on a bus for 24 hours?
I would do it.
Just to get naked in New York City?
That's naked in a New York City cab?
You found a very special lady.
She also was a model for my weekend and I think my nude portraiture workshops as well. And we shot together. But that one, we were at Central Park shooting in the park. And then we were heading to Times Square and we just got into the cab, asked him if he minds if we take some shots, and she's going to get undressed, and he just kind of grunted. I'm sure New York cabbies see stranger things than that every day. The shot I actually had planned out was I wanted her to be like a rich and fancy pretty woman type, wearing the huge like day at the races type hat and pearls and everything, getting out of a cab in front of like the Waldorf Astoria, and then we would just she wouldn't get out. I'd take the photo of her pretending to get out and then have the cab circle the block again. I'd jump in and then we'd take off. But the hat she brought was just this tiny little one. I didn't think you'd get the idea of it if I was getting the whole cab and the building in the shot as well.
Yeah.
So instead I think it was, must have been at like 12 or 14 mil on a full frame. And I was scooched up into the corner of the cab to get the shot, bounce flash off the ceiling of the car, and had her kind of doing her makeup, slow shutter to have the city blur out the window and just balance the city and the flash exposures.
Well, the shot was beautiful, but more than anything, I admired your guts. And
I probably can't show the shot, right?
Oh, no, it's
YouTube.
actually, there's nothing in it.
No, I don't think that.
Oh, how can I find it?
Well, you might have to go
let
through
me
some
find
other...
it and send it to you.
Yeah, have him send it, because I'm sure you'll have to wade through other things first. But that's something that I would like to work on, so I've been inspired by Matt and Mary Ellen Mark, who is a photojournalist, also very brave, not afraid to get into situations where you may have to step outside of your comfort zone. So
yeah, relationships are a big part of it, and Matt's better at that than we are.
Yeah.
As evidenced by all his workshops, and
Yeah.
we never leave the house.
No, I'm a shut-in.
Well, start coming on trips. Well, I'm going to see you in Germany soon, so that'll be a good
Yeah,
start.
Yeah, we are going to Photokina this year. If you guys are going to be there, if anybody listening is going to be there, you can come by and say hi. We should just organize something.
I get
Right?
scared.
We never get together with
yeah, but
people.
I get nervous.
I know, because we're introverts. It seems like a great idea when we talk about it vaguely. I know it's a little unsharp. That's my fault, but cool picture, right? This is at a memorial for the bombing that happened in Brussels recently.
Oh.
Amazing, right? So a girl putting a kind of a teddy bear at a memorial for it. But this is via Petapixel. This is the photographer's Instagram as he posted. He's a photojournalist.
Yeah.
And that's important to know. Because somebody spotted this video, and you can see here,
He tells her to do it.
he's posing her. And this is just in the background of a news show. So he got busted posing a little girl. And look, now he's like, no, stop.
Let's do it again.
Do it again. I didn't get the shot.
Okay,
It's
so
just a Fox News broadcast.
oh my gosh, he keeps showing her over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's certainly embarrassing, but to be honest, I think that's common.
It's common, but it's unethical and it's completely wrong for photojournalism. Like if you were taking a picture for fine art, fine. If you're doing storytelling, okay. But photojournalism, definitely not okay.
Is
You
this on
can't
a loop, or
pose
does he
people
keep
for
making her do it
photojournalism.
over and over again?
He does make her do it a couple of times, but it is on a loop.
They're just there forever.
Anyway, he's been a photojournalist for a long time, and I think you're absolutely right. This happens. Photojournalists want the best shot. It's competitive. That's how they make their money. And sometimes the best shot requires getting people to do something that they weren't doing already.
Was she doing it already? That almost makes it worse, because she may have had a sincere moment, and then you have someone interrupting you, being like, "Be sincere."
Yeah, I
again.
need to make a buck off this.
Look better when you're being sincere. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Matt?
Yeah, in almost every kind of photography, I feel fine setting up a shot, but for journalism, there's a different standard, right? So, yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah.
I just sent you that picture, by the way.
Oh, is it in my email or?
I sent it to both of your individual emails.
Okay. I'll dig that up while Chelsea entertains
I would
people.
actually not like Dr. Chris Reddy. He's waiting for us.
Okay.
Oh, there are.
Oh, thank
Let's
you.
see here. How about this is a good one here. Matt and Tony, how do you guys handle throwaway images? For example, if you go on a trip and come away with 10,000 pictures and say you keep 10%, what do you do with the other images?
I just put mine on a different drive. What do you do, Matt?
I just collect huge numbers of drives.
Sounds like we do the same thing. We have a lot of drives.
Just can't throw anything out, can you?
Nope. Or picture
Okay.
hoarders.
It's
And along
To be
the same
honest, I try
lines.
and take less.
Huh?
Sorry to interrupt, but I think everyone takes more than you need to, but the more you do something, the less shots you'll end up taking. So you go away, even shooting a wedding or a cultural festival or something, as the questioner asked, sometimes, you get 1,000, but hopefully your hit rate goes up from, instead of taking 20 to get the one shot, maybe you only need to take 5.
Yeah. I'll agree.
Along the same lines, Do you use multiple catalogs in Lightroom or a single catalog with a bazillion images in it?
I use multiple catalogs, and they organize by date, but then I'll usually group them together and make another catalog.
I have a single catalog, and I import everything into it because that's the only way I can find photos. Otherwise, I'm always thinking like, which catalog is this photo in? But my Lightroom catalog is so slow. It is so painfully slow. I have the fastest computer in the world, and Lightroom is just
Bragger.
Unbelievably slow.
Well, see, I'll make a separate catalog if I'm doing, like, we shot a wedding, and then just all of those go in their own catalog because there are a ton of shots, and I don't want them mixed in with other projects.
Yeah, but then you go back and you're like, I guess if you just know that the shot is from the wedding, because I'm digging up sample photos for books and things. I often need to dig through many different photos. So.
How about you, Matt?
I'm like Tony, but I've started a new catalog, so I'm going to split it by years probably now and have each year be a catalog.
Oh, that's a good way to do it.
I don't actually know if having smaller catalogs makes everything faster. Does anybody know?
I don't. I just do it.
I just know it's really slow right now.
Yeah.
Tony, do you have your catalog itself, the database itself, on an SSD or on a regular hard drive?
It's on an SSD.
Yeah. That's as fast as you're going to get.
I don't know that having a big catalog makes it slower. And I have tons of RAM and the fastest drives I can get, and it's just Lightroom. Like Capture One, spot on, super fast. I just haven't moved stuff over to Capture One because it's missing some stuff.
Yeah, I won't be doing that now, but
so here's Matt's naked chick pic in the back of a taxi. We were talking about it earlier.
Yep. Yeah, no, actually, it's implied nudity. But yeah, it's really well done. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm also really fascinated by the backstory and kind of the reaction of the cab driver and Matt, you just wouldn't know that you're there. It's the New York City, right? The only place in the world where her in a fancy hat, putting on makeup, being completely
having
nude.
Shot in outside the Louvre and in the middle of Tokyo and stuff. That was one of the most. I was most concerned about shooting it, not because of getting caught, but just for health reasons. The New York cabs are not very clean, so we made sure we took along a towel for her to sit on.
I was actually wondering that because I was thinking I don't think I'd let my body touch that seat, and she doesn't even have shoes on, and that was actually what got me the most concerned. I'm like, is she alive today?
She is.
Okay.
Yes. We'll be shooting again on my next trip.
Oh, cool.
Have you been caught before? Have you ever been arrested for that kind of thing?
No, the only 2 times I've had any issues with security, no, that's not true. The only 2 times I've actually had to speak to security were both in Australia. There's some really ridiculous laws here about where you're allowed to take photos generally, forgetting about nudity. Like technically the visage of the Sydney Opera House is copyright. So taking a shot of the Opera House, you're not allowed to do it without permission, although everyone does.
Wow.
So when I was taking nudes near the Opera House, I got in trouble not for doing nudes. They didn't have authority for that because it was the local security, but that if it had the Opera House in it, then I could be in trouble from them for that. But fortunately, we were taking it from the Opera House to the Harbour Bridge. But outside the Louvre, we had the security whistles blow, but we just legged it.
You just kept going?
No, we just got the shot and then ran away.
Oh.
Awesome. You're awesome, Matt.
Naked?
I was not naked, and she had a classic trench coat.
A trench coat? You hacks.
Let's take a look at a few more viewer pictures. This is taken with a Canon PowerShot, like a point and shoot camera, but it has just a fantastic mood, right?
Pick.
And I don't know the location really, but I'll give it 5 stars. It's in India, I can see. And any thoughts, Matt? Beautiful picture, right?
He hates it.
No, it just loaded up. I'm kind of only seeing the right 2/3 of it, I think. But yeah, I love it. Love these kind of shots. And this is, when we're testing all this gear, you can get so caught up on like, how's the contrast? How's the sharpness? And a shot like this doesn't need any of that. It's just, it's the softness and it doesn't need a lot of contrast. You don't need a perfectly sharp anything in a shot like that. It's lovely. Well seen.
Yeah, agreed. There are times when you need sharpness and megapixels and all that, but
Yeah.
mood is always trumps it. Subject matter always trumps it. This one I would have composed it a little differently. I can see we're already running out of time because we had a good time talking to Matt. So we might have to just skip through a little bit quickly.
Yeah, I like the colors and the composition.
Yeah, and the way the like blue and orange kind of complement each other.
What do you think about it being so tight at the top?
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. I'm not a fan. I would have left more room at the top. That's actually something you can fix in post. You can go back with content aware fill and just fill that in. And Photoshop will usually do a pretty good job of it.
Sneaky.
Yep.
The wheel.
Yeah, and this does tell us something about London, but this seems to have just shot at midday, and it is a picture of the wheel. But if it was shot during the blue hour, or during the golden hour, or something, it would have been more interesting. If there was if it was a long exposure and we saw a little bit of that movement, it would have been more compelling. It just needs one other thing to make it interesting.
I don't think it is shot at midday. You can see the shadows of this on the building.
Yeah, you're right. There's some long shadows.
So it is
on
low
there.
in the sky, but I just think it doesn't have that.
It doesn't have that like warmth.
Yeah, it doesn't have that sunset warmth. Still nice. Well, this certainly tells a story of travel. The Hyatt in Denver.
Well, 2 blocks from the Hyatt in Denver. Never been to Denver. Is this does this tell you something about the city?
I've never been.
Yeah, I've never been to Denver either.
But this is incredibly sharp.
Does it make you want to go? It's downtown, right?
Yeah, you're right. I think it's a nice shot. But you're right. Other than the big word Denver.
You have to save me. My mouse stopped working.
Justin, can you toss
Sure.
Chelsea a couple of double A's?
I'll just get you some.
This shot is gorgeous.
This is taken in nowhere. This actually makes me wonder about the story. Here we have
a Breaking Bad situation. Thank you, Justin.
Of course.
They're camels, so it must be in this Africa somewhere, or what are you laughing about? Any idea about this photo, Matt?
Shoot.
Oh, Matt just went away.
Yeah, I think I gotta call him again.
I love it. This looks so German.
Yeah, this is definitely over processed. I think as a photographer, it definitely bumps me. The sky seems to have been photoshopped in, maybe because it was a gray day and the saturation
What, you think the sky
got
was
to be a bit
photoshopped
much. Yeah, don't you think? It doesn't seem to match like the focal length.
I thought it was just over sharpened because it looks like they dropped the highlights and that's why there's this kind of weirdness here.
Yeah, but yeah, it bumped me right away. I would just tone it back. I actually think it's a good shot that's been processed a bit too much.
Okay. I like it.
Ah, this is really pretty. Vancouver. I love using the sun as a focal point, and you can get just great lines out of the sun if you put it at the edge of a building. And the way you do that is you look at the ground and you find the shadow of the building, and you put yourself right on the edge of the shadow. And that's the easiest way to line the building up like that. So good job using the focal point like that. And I love the long shadows. Nicely done.
That's nice.
We have a silhouette here. There's something nice about it. I feel like they're hanging out at a bar.
There's palm trees.
Yeah. Nice job.
That's beautiful. Simple, clean.
Yeah. And I'll give that one a pick too. I'm happy with it. I don't feel like it even necessarily needs anything more. It's so pretty.
Do we still have Chris around? Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
Oh, that's Matt Granger.
With Matt and Jonathan. So this person maybe went on Matt's tour?
Yeah,
Is
I guess
Matt
so.
wearing that t-shirt?
Peru 2014. Yeah, Matt only wears that shirt. He's always wearing a Get Your Gear Out shirt.
Cool. Look at that lawn. My dad would be jealous.
The crop here feels a little uncomfortable to me. I kind of wish we could see the top of it.
Yeah.
And this is taken from the Eiffel Tower.
This is gorgeous. Look at those colors.
Thick. But yeah,
I like it.
I would argue for a little bit less processing on it.
Well, you're keeping it natural today.
A waterfall shot. It's very pretty. They got close in. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Turned out nice.
Whoa.
Yeah, here we
I
go.
love this.
Given that one a pick right away, I would probably still dial back the vibrance of it a little bit. It might be just like a hair too much, but it's an absolutely beautiful shot.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Matt?
We're getting Mac back on the line.
Yeah, he sent me a message.
This person felt a little guilty about it, like they had to say intentionally motion blurred, but I totally got it. It captures the feeling of it. In fact, if I did anything to it, it would probably be to crop it in and just focus more on the bullfighter and the motion. But I think the motion totally works here, especially because somehow some parts of the bull are mostly stopped. Like he seems to have put the brakes on. His body's actually sharp. The rest of the motion, absolutely fantastic. I think it's a fantastic shot. I think I already gave it a pick. Good work.
I like it. I feel like I'm going to ride this right to that mountain.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yes. Good work. We're trying to move quickly because we're running out of time.
Things get a little crazy in the last few minutes.
That's
Matt,
true.
How do you feel?
A little bit hungry.
Me too.
Well,
What is it, like 8 a.m. there?
Coming on 9. Yep. Public holiday Friday.
We only have like 5 minutes left. Just hang in there, then you can eat some Vegemite.
Thank you.
well, tell us what you think of the shot, and then we'll toss it over to Chris and see what people are asking.
I think he or she got wet shoes.
That's a good point.
It's nice. It's always good to carry a grad neutral density filter with you. It looks like maybe they tried to pull the highlights in the sky down a bit. It could be wrong, but I like it. It's right in there. I really like water shots or these kind of landscape shots where you feel like they were right in the middle of it rather than on the edge of the lake at the bottom of a waterfall, being in it. So the water's like coming right up to the camera. I really like that feel.
Yeah, I like the shot a lot. It has a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, you feel like you're a part of the scene, like you're a crocodile there or something.
Yeah, and the sky always looks so cool with a super wide angle lens like that. Can you do your crocodile impression for us again?
Matt just taught me this.
Oh,
Let's see what Chris has to say.
Chris, what you got for us?
Yeah, a couple things. Everybody on the chat wants us to mention that Google just released the Nick software for free.
Yes, I saw that right before the show, and I didn't have a chance to check it out. I don't actually know the Nick software. Do you know, Chris? Is it cool?
I have used it. There's some really good effects in it, and it integrates with both Lightroom and Photoshop. It does a really good job. It's nice. I think it's part of their response to doing away with Picasa and then releasing some higher level photography tools.
So it's not a replacement for Picasa. It doesn't do photo organization or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Chris, does that include Silver Effects and all of the Nick software?
It does. It's the full version, and it's not a trial. It's just outright free. It's like what they did with Picasa when they bought that 10, 12 years ago.
That's great, but it's going to piss off people who dropped hundreds of bucks on it 6 months ago.
Yeah, I saw that they'll give you a refund if you bought it in 2016.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of a big deal. And it's like $150 or something. It's kind of expensive software.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird because it's nothing like Picasa. It's more like high-end filters and that kind of thing. But for professional photographers or those kind of aspiring for that, I think it's really useful. I can't wait to kind of check out the free version.
Do you have anything else for us, Chris?
Yeah, one last one here. Matt, how do you ask people to model for you if you are inexperienced?
Oh, it's hard getting started, and it depends where you are. Like, it's easy for me to say what works for me in Australia or what I can suggest for people in Sydney, but it's the same as anything, to be honest. And I have, plug. I have a getting started with models guide up on my website, but It's the same as getting in if you want to do real estate photography or you want to do landscape photography, whatever. You need to have something to show them. So there's two principles that if you go down, it's an audio book and stuff on the right hand side. There you go, the one with Tina there, that book, that's the getting started with models. There's two kind of principles. One is you need to show that you know what you're doing. So getting a portfolio together. If you want to shoot with models, then get friends and family and show the kind of work that you can actually do. And the second is have a real transfer of value. So if you're not going to pay them or they're not going to pay you, then you need to be able to deliver them with good shots if they're going to give you their time. So often I hear from models who are getting started, or when they were getting started, they shot just a collaboration, no money changed hands, time for images type thing. And then they never ended up getting shots from the photographer because they weren't happy with it or they were just flakes. So yeah, you make sure there's a clear transfer of value there, and you can start working with people who are at your same level. If you want to get amazing, shots from a really experienced model early on, pay them.
Yeah.
Good advice.
See, he's got some things to offer, this Granger guy.
Vegemite primarily.
Anything else, Chris?
There's some gear questions. A person says he's got a Sony with a 35 millimeter and a 28, but he's tempted to get a 55 1.8, and he's going back and forth between that and a flash. What would help him take better pictures?
Buying a course.
Yeah,
There you
probably, because what are you using the flash for? Are you doing portraits? What are you taking pictures of? Landscapes? What?
Yeah, I got to agree with Matt. If you're not sure if you need light or a lens, then education is probably the next step.
3 words: stunning digital photography.
Oh, Chris,
Thank
you're
you,
hired.
Chris. Yeah, forget mattgranger.com. Go to stp.io/store.
Hey, it's your show, man. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It always surprises me when people they'll look at a picture and they'll say, what lens is that and what is your settings? And that tells me they don't even know enough about photography yet, because you can't just tell someone your settings and then have them replicate the photo. Your light's going to be different. Everything's going to be different. So
yeah, people are very hardware oriented.
Yeah, some people.
They think it's just like driving a car. It's pretty much like figuring out which wheels to turn and pedals to turn, but there's just more to it. There's more subtlety to that.
Yeah.
It's it can sound kind of like a conspiracy because we sell education, both of us now. But for me too, when I was getting started, and I still am, I'm a total gear whore. I love my gear.
Me too.
But the biggest jumps that I had in my development of my skill, and they're still happening, was doing study, learning from, mentors and people who had great skills, and then traveling and exposing myself to different situations. There was no big jump in the standard of my photography when I bought any gear. Obviously, buying an ultra wide meant I could take ultra wide shots, and buying a fast lens meant I could blur the background. But in terms of the general standard of my work, it was when I did a course or when I exposed myself to something new. It was never gear.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people undervalue just a general art education, just looking up a bit of art history and learning the basics of composition and learning what makes those things important. But it can inspire you, but it can also teach you. Important.
We see it all the time as we're looking at
It's
photos
such a pain in the ass.
on the show. Like some of the photos we give pics to, so many of them are taken with a Canon PowerShot, like a point and shoot camera, or a T2i, the like base model camera from 10 years ago. And because it just doesn't matter that much. And in fact, the advice we give to landscape photographers, some people ask like, what camera and lens should I get for landscapes? And I say, get a cheap lens with a kit, the kit lens, and put the rest of your money into plane tickets and just go someplace awesome, because that's going to do way more for your pictures being in an awesome place than using a fancy camera.
And that advice infuriates people.
Yeah, they just want to bike because the gear is fun, and that's part of photography, is enjoying like the cool mechanics of it and the buttons and dials and the megapixels, and that's all cool. I enjoy it too. But if you're really about getting good pictures, it's
You're a
about being
Texas boy, so you might not know this, but it reminds me of the ski slopes in Vermont, where the New Yorkers would show up and they would be completely new to skiing, but they would have like $5,000 skis, and like their ski suit would be a couple $1,000s, and then they'd fall all the way down the mountain, and we'd all laugh.
Damn,
We'd be like a New Yorker. That's what we'd, like park and just watch the New Yorkers fall down the mountain with their expensive gear. That's kind of like photography. You can get the most expensive stuff, but if you don't know how to take a picture, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday they were wearing their North Face in the subway with the tag still on it, just so people know they were like skiing. Like that's the thing they do.
Matt does
They go
that.
skiing.
I can tell.
Totally. Love to ski.
So
I'm a tumbler from way back. But I guess you have to qualify that. There will come a point where, gear's important too.
yeah.
So like on my show this week, it just went live yesterday. I had one of Australia's top landscape photographers, and he's been doing it for 40 years. So his skills are there now, and he does still go to amazing places. But now he is shooting with, a $70,000 camera at that last step. But giving that camera to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, their shots will still suck.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, you don't want to put years of experience into it and travel halfway around the world and then get a picture that looks blurry when you make a big print out of it.
Here's another thing. They keep going on about it. A lot of people don't even know what kind of photography they really like yet, and they're investing in gear. If you're new and you don't know what you're primarily taking pictures of, you can play around with some less expensive gear before you specialize and get the best of.
Unless you're rich and then just get what you want. If I was a millionaire, I'd have a Porsche and a Lamborghini, and I wouldn't know how to drive them.
You would just pay someone to drive them?
I think that's fine
I
too.
just drive them poorly.
Yeah. People get upset when somebody starts out with, a 1DX Mark II or some really expensive gear, but whatever, if they have fun, whatever gets them into photography, whatever gets them taking pictures, sometimes it's cool gear. And yeah, people who drive Ferraris aren't race car drivers. Race car drivers, no, not necessarily. They're just people who think it's cool. That's fine. They're having fun with it.
Why do you have to ruin everything? Look at this guy.
Oh my God, look at this picture. It's so cute. We're out of time, so I'm kind of flipping through.
He's saying goodbye.
Matt, cute or ugly?
I want to give it a hug. I want to be its friend.
I know.
I'm going to get down there and roll in the snow with it. That's the one thing that I still do really badly when I'm traveling. I can't help but get too close to the animals. I would totally go up and want to rub its belly and get my hand bitten off or something.
Yeah. And particularly when you're in Peru, they have like outdoor dogs, like people have outdoor cats in the US.
With clothes on.
So a lot of them are owned and they will be wearing clothes, but you just want to adopt all of them. So many of them are so cute, you just want to take them home with you.
I know, I'm going to get rabies so bad one day because I touch all of the wild animals.
Sometimes we'll talk
I just got my shots.
I need to get some.
Remember the time we talked to other American tourists who just decided they were going to adopt some like wild feral cat that was at the resort?
No.
Meow. This is a beautiful picture. It's a little oversaturated for my taste, but I think it turned out really nice.
Chappa, chappa, chappa.
And you got some great shots entered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got so many pictures in.
I don't know about your viewers, but our viewers are pro.
This is in Berlin.
Yeah,
they should all buy gear then. They don't need to look at your courses.
I don't even know why they're listening to us at this point.
Did you happen to take a picture of that building? Is that in the book there?
Yeah. This is the Berlin Cathedral.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah, it's tough. This picture in particular is tough because it's got so many different mixed light sources. We have some kind of fringing going on here. Anyway, getting the white balance right on that is going to be tough. I kind of love
Berlin's in Germany. We're going to Germany.
We're going to Germany. We're also going to London.
Ye olde London. Yeah, but I don't know. That building was more exciting than the wheel.
Why you gotta ruin it?
Hater.
This is cool. Pick. Let's just go really quick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go for it. You drive.
That looks like Cuba.
It's Old Havana.
Nice. Look at that. Yep.
Australia.
That's Australia?
Yeah.
That's Lake Michigan.
The previous one.
Sweden.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
That's beautiful.
They make great gin there
Where? Sweden?
in the Black Forest of Germany.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know.
I like that
this
shot.
one.
Nice silhouette.
You like that, Matt?
She must be squinting so bad.
Yeah.
Do you like this, Chris? Chris likes.
Yeah. She's got her eyes closed. You'd never know it.
I speak for Chris now.
I love the bird in that shot.
You would.
Oh, great shot. I like that a lot.
Are we just reducing it to an animal noise per picture? Oh.
No, cows couldn't even walk across that.
A sheep would like this picture. Good
Beautiful
call.
landscape.
Oh, that looks so delicious.
What picture? What sound does a deer make?
I think I just made it.
Just chewing like that? You're probably right.
They will make
Vegas
terrible
babies.
screaming sounds. The babies will scream like human babies. They'll make,
That's attractive.
Matt's had the same experience.
You guys are really good at that. Where is this? Anybody?
Do you have deer in Australia, Matt, or have the giant spiders eaten them all?
Not native. No,
Yeah.
we'd have a couple around for restaurants.
You eat deer? Do you eat a lot of deer there? Venison?
Yeah, he said the deer looked delicious, but I'm not a fan of venison.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
hello.
and we
That
actually
looks
eat it a
delicious,
lot
too.
in Texas. Like
Wow.
that's fantastic.
Big
Yeah, give it a
nod.
This is weird.
That looks like
Yeah,
it's gonna fall over.
Yeah, I don't see how that's working.
it's like a Dutch windmill, but they attached a massive like talking to alien style satellite dish on there.
Yeah, like Jodie Foster Contact.
Yeah. Oh,
Definitely.
that's a really cute picture. I like that one a lot.
Oh.
Give
I
that
hope
a-
they chock the wheels.
Oh my goodness, what happened?
Now, this one is so weird to me because for one, it's labeled Parrot NYC, but that's clearly a duck. But also the
Holding a
duck
duck.
seems to be holding a baby duck.
And wearing a duck.
And it has a duck on its hat.
And
And
his
it's
last name
Gene
is
Waddle.
Yes.
What the hell? It's like Inception in a
God.
photo.
I know Gene Waddle as well. That must be, some people take a little toy and take photos of it everywhere. So yeah, good, well noticed. He must have a duck,
I'm
and
gonna
it's his
give this.
mascot.
I'm gonna give it a pick because all of that made me believe in magic. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Good.
Oh, Chicago picture. Oh, that's fantastic.
This is
And also the
gorgeous.
Chicago picture.
Pick.
I'm sorry we don't have time.
Yes. Where's that? Malta.
I want to go Malta.
Malta.
Okay.
All right, we're done.
We did it. Matt, any one last non-gear
Matt, you-
related question
Are
before
you-
we head out? Something from Matt, perhaps?
You want to make fun of me one last time, Matt?
I
I'm
would like
sorry.
to sing what do you call it, barbershop quartet with you two and Chris.
Boom, 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 boom.
Good
Boom,
time like Coney Island, sweetheart.
Oh, help us.
We need to take
No,
this off on
nothing.
the road. No.
I'm sorry to leave you out, Justin. Quintet. Boom, 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 boom. No?
Do,
Boom,
do,
boom,
do, do.
boom,
He does a
boom.
really good Jason Mraz impression.
Oh, that's right.
No, you're not going to do it?
It was just the barbershop quintet thing, more or less.
All right. I guess that's it. I guess we're going to end it with that. And I want to thank Chris Reddy for helping us out today, for being the fill-in Siobhan. You did an excellent job.
Chris,
My
do you have
pleasure.
a final question for us?
Oh, we always got lots of questions here.
Throw us
Yeah,
a
they-
question.
Okay. The nice general question to finish with is people enjoy the show for a long time and they want to know, where's the channel going in the future, and do you have a set of goals like you like to achieve going forward?
Wow.
Oh, that is such a
That's
deep
a big
question.
question.
Let's
yeah.
toss it to Matt first. Matt, what are your goals? Where is your channel going in the future?
Cheeky. I'm not saying anything genuine. You'll steal all my great ideas. I have ideas.
That's why we wanted
I
to
have
ask
heaps of
you,
plans.
so we could just
I've got
take your
tons of
ideas.
plans. No, well, so for the YouTube channel, for me, it's basically a promotion thing. So it's how I find my audience for the rest of my business. So for this year, I've got a few series planned. I want to really get back into doing more series of things, so more episodic type things. How much time do we have? Can I share a little epiphany?
All the time you want. Yeah,
Yeah,
go for
yeah.
it.
Lovely. I think where did I talk about this last?
Probably
I
with
talked
me.
about it on some show. I think it was, I can't remember, but I was
Could you hurry
listening
up?
to two. You
kidding.
jerk. Can somebody mute that Texan? The two scientists were talking, and he was saying, Fred Hollows, the guy who set up for people who needed retina replacements, or whatever. Anyway, the concept of having enough, and they were talking about that he thinks that most people in their life never realize they have enough. And he did when he was 30. He had a wife and he was a doctor and a house and everything. So he decided, I have enough, so I can just go and help people now. Unfortunately, I guess I'm not that charitable. But when I heard that, I started to think, I do too. So maybe I can stop, just wind back the hustle a little bit. So once I get these current projects I have on out the door, I want to focus more on giving back and making higher quality content instead of just making more and more and more stuff that just, takes so much time. So after this Bhutan trip in April, I should have a lot more time opened up. So I've got a bunch of series that I want to put out for the channel that'll take a lot more time and, hopefully people will love.
I like that. And you were talking to me about that idea of having enough over WhatsApp. And we both talked about how we had enough,
But we both wanted Ferraris anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we
Ferraris are
decided
cool.
you can have enough, but you could still have fun. It's not going to hurt to have a few indulgences. For me, I feel like I'm in the same boat. Right now I'm aiming towards just liking what I'm doing. I want to be really proud of what I'm doing. And I think sometimes you can get pushed in a certain direction just because that's where the money is or that's where other people are pushing you. And I like to just pull in and I like to take inventory of everything I have. What's really important to me is my family, and creating is really important to me. Anytime I'm not taking pictures or writing or singing or doing something that I love, I feel that I start to wither. So I like to just recenter and think about how to make those things happen and how to create and how to always I like to vocalize to people through art my feelings about the world and my experience. So
is that what you're singing WhatsApp to me are? Is that you creating art and vocalizing the world?
Yeah, that's
I thought
probably
that was just cover songs.
That's my best art.
Yeah.
And it makes you happy, does it not?
Yes, and it's interpretive.
Yes. But anyway, so we've been taking a picture every day. And we love traveling, so we're in the process of making a travel show. And we're working with a production company, and we're going to be going out and meeting you, our viewers. We have some people lined up. We'll be going to your house, to your town, and you'll be showing us your worlds. And if the show gets bought, we'll be showing the rest of the country, small town America, and the art of taking pictures.
And to speak to my own goals, it's to teach people who aren't into photography, to teach them photography, and to bring as many people as possible into the world of photography, just to teach people to see. So I think a lot of what the content we make now is for people who are already into photography.
Yeah.
We show them what advanced level of gear that we can get. But I'd like to move kind of downstream to people who aren't consciously thinking about photography. And so the travel show is one way to do that, because we can pull in people who just like travel and teach them to think a little bit more about their pictures. But I also like to reach out to the audience who's currently using their smartphones and find the next, great photographer who's just on Instagram, but teach them to be more deliberate about their composition and their lighting and those kinds of things.
Yeah, and I think it's about spreading some of the joy we feel when we all take pictures. I know I could be having the worst day, and if I go out with my camera, I'm so focused, literally, not figuratively, on what I'm doing. It brings me so much joy that for me it's a great stress relief. And I love when we get emails or letters or whatever from our fans that say, hey, I was in a really hard place in my life. I went through a divorce, or I had a family member die, and I found you and I found photography.
Yeah.
And thank you. And it is so much more than just a business. It's so much more than a hobby. It's a way of life. I love it.
Yeah, and for me, it's changed the way I am without a camera.
Yeah.
I appreciate a sunset more, and I appreciate the sun filtering through the leaves of a tree more, because
that was beautiful.
I've learned photography. And so I want other people to have that experience.
Yeah.
They don't have to become a professional photographer, but if they just get enlightened, if they just learn to see from what we can do, then mission accomplished. Matt hates that idea. He's all about the Benjamins.
He sings that song. That's the only song he'll sing to me.
Yeah, he's hardcore into Mace. $MA$E, Matt. Yeah.
Okay.
That hasn't made it to Australia yet.
Well, that's too bad, because I think it's from 95.
Yeah, that's about right.
Shall we have a round of kumbaya?
Yeah. Let's all hold hands now.
Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Okay, so it's 20
Soft
after
rail.
6.
What is kumbaya?
I don't know what that means. I bet it means something real raunchy in a different language. We've all been duped. All right, is that it? Are we signing off?
Yes, I think so. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Matt Granger.
Thank you, Justin.
MattGranger.com. Check out his YouTube channel. ReadyPhoto.com if you want us to learn more about Chris. And thank you, Justin.
Yep, got the
Photo Ready. I'm sorry. That was
Come
close.
on, Tony. How could you let him?
My drink was a powerful drink tonight. I mixed ginger beer and Southern Comfort, which was something I invented.
Ooh.
But that sweetness and that tartness, it went perfectly with half a lime squeeze in there.
You're grossing out the Granger.
Give it a shot. You eat Vegemite. If you like awful things, you would like this.
He would like it.
Well, just give it a shot. You're like a little kid. Try stuff.
He ate an octopus that was still moving, and it was clinging to his mouth.
But the description of that sounds bad. Well, I hope you'll join us again, Matt. We like hanging out. And if nothing else, I'm going to hear you singing weird random songs with incorrect lyrics over my wife's iPhone in the very, very near future, probably the next 10 to 20 minutes.
I've already sent some during the show. You're welcome.
Good for you. Glad you're keeping busy. Okay. Thanks, guys. We're here every Thursday at 5. See you next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Smartphone
Thank
Photos
you.
next week.
Thanks, Chris, Justin.
Take care, Matt.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You guys don't actually have to log out. We always
That is
you
awesome.
say
ruined
goodbye
the
off
whole
there.
show. Just kidding.
Yeah.